Okay, as my final video, I want to address probably maybe an emotion that is out there. It's not usually a frequently asked question, but if you're anything like me, you might be feeling totally overwhelmed with the idea of homeschooling your kids, especially if you're bringing home multiple kids at the same time and just, starting cold feet. So my advice to you is, yes, think it through. Yes, develop a schedule, but it's not going to be perfect out of the gate. And I think the best way to get rid of that overwhelming feeling is just start. Just get going. Get your feet wet. And as you get going, you're going to tweak your schedule. You're going to probably even remodel your schedule completely. But just get going, and the confidence will come as you do that. My other thought on this is, if you're still on the fence, you're really thinking about it, just try it. You are never ever gonna regret spending more time with your kids in this sort of manner. And maybe you're not gonna do homeschool for forever. Maybe it's just for a short amount of time, but you're still never gonna regret the 2 weeks or the 6 months or the years that you spent with your kids. And if you give them 100%, they're going to give you back 100%. And it's just going to be so rewarding to see them grow and develop right alongside them. I have a story that illustrates that very point that I go back to on the days where I think I am going to put my kids on that next yellow school bus that drives past my house. So this is a story I go back to. So it was probably about 8 years ago, 8.5 years ago, that I was taking my kids to swim at the YMCA. It's the middle of winter. I'm in New England. It's freezing cold. We're all dressed in our snow gear, and I have one kid on my hip, one kid in my belly. I've got a bag full of towels and swimsuits and goggles. I have 2 other kids in their clumpy snow boots and coats. And I mean, if you've ever tried to hold babies and all sorts of gear in a coat and your kid in a coat and you have a bag full of stuff, it's just very clumpy and so much work. But anyway, we made it to the YMCA. We clumped our way down to the locker room. And right before you go into the locker room, there's this area where parents can sit and wait while their kids are taking lessons or doing swim team. And I saw there was a couple of parents there, and they were waiting for their kids who were in the pool, and they were reading a book and looking at their kids. And I had this thought as I saw them trying to get all my kids into the locker room. I thought, oh my goodness, I just want to sit there and read a book and not do any of this work and just let my kids go get in the cold pool by themselves. I was already cold. I didn't want to get in a cold pool. But anyway, so we did. We went swimming, we changed, we swam. We had a great time. There was nothing like amazing that happened that time. It wasn't like all of a sudden one of my kids learned how to swim, but we just had a great time together, and I enjoyed being there in the pool with them. We experienced that together, and then we changed, and we're walking back out to the car, and I passed that place again, and there were no parents this time. But as I looked at that spot and remembered the thought that I had before I had gone in, I had another thought, and that thought was, Tara, you would have missed this experience that you had with your kids if you had just read a book. And I am not dissing any parent who sits and reads a book while their kids are in a lesson. And by any means, I'm not looking down on that at all. But it was just this thought that I had that's carried me through the years of those days where it's hard and it's a lot of work. I think back to, I get to be there with them. I'm the one teaching them. I'm the one learning with them. I'm the one experiencing this with them. And what a joy it is, because honestly, they're only going to be in my home for 18 years. And that is going by so fast. And then they're going to be off in the world being amazing humans that I'll still get to enjoy and experience things with. But this time right now is so unique. And so that's why I say, if you're considering it, just try it out. You are never going to regret it. And along those same lines, I've watched a lot of homeschool people come and go through the years, and I found the people that enjoy it the most and have the most success with it are the people who really commit 100%. And by commit 100%, I mean you're gonna probably have to change some of the things that you do, and you're gonna have to change where you spend some of your time, because we're all limited on the resource of time. And the moms that I've seen that have really had a much better experiencing homeschooling have kind of put some of those hobbies up on the shelf for a little while and devoted this time to homeschooling. I'm not saying that you should give up on your hobbies. I am a huge fan of hobbies. I have one hobby that I am never going to give up, and it keeps me sane, and I do it every single day. And I have friends, and I go out with my friends, and there are things that I do that aren't totally committed homeschooling, and those things are important. But homeschooling also does take up a good chunk of time, and so maybe as you think about it, consider what you might put on the shelf for a little while that might collect a little bit of dust, but there will be a chance later on to take that hobby back off the shelf, dust it off, and to magnify that.